Hey, Shalom, Israel. This is the Israelite School University of Nasa at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, on the Command and Junior High. Today is Isupk Austin's Friday, Lashawan Qadash class. We'll be breaking down the ancient and the Syrian Hebrew. We usually start our class every day with the Hebrew alphabet, right? We write it down in ancient, then we write it in Syrian. I'm not going to do that for today's class. We're going to go right into the lesson, right? But we can go over the sounds on the board, right? I don't know if you can see it. We're going to start with, this is the Syrian, right? We're going to go right here. Salaki, if you can see the top of the board, right? The only reason I ain't going over it again is because we know this by now, right? Now we have A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ha, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na, right? Sa, I, Pa, Taza, Kwa, Ra, Sha, and Tha. Right? Realize that these two have the Syrian have two characters for one sound, right? Or for I say sound, right? I say characters because we really don't say letters because they make sounds, right? It's not just one single thing, right? So for these, so use these for at the end of a word, right? So these letters fall at the end of a word, or these characters, right? Like ka, you're gonna use that at the end, right? And usually pronounce it without the a at the end because it will connect at the end, all right? And it's very good to remember these because the Syrian, unlike the ancient, when we go over the ancient, it doesn't have it. We call it. It doesn't show you connected. So sometimes you'll see when we do Sabbath service or any feast day, we got to read the scriptures in the Hebrew. The Syrian, sometimes you can get stumbled up, or me myself, even me. Sometimes it doesn't have. You would pronounce the word. You got to redo the word because you pronounced it wrong the first way. I mean, right? You might pronounce the and that goes down to like even when you have your vocabulary, learn your vocabulary, right? You can just start reading what the scripture is saying without even looking at it. You can read what it's saying in English and then just say it in Hebrew. You get what I'm saying? For example, if we have warrior, right? Warrior is what? Right? Is Gabar, right? Now, I know if I'm just reading in the Syrian, right? The Syrian will have what? All right. And it will have Ra, right? Little thing right there, right? That's what they have in the Syrian. So I'll be like this. Your quick thing you want to say is you would say, oh, Gabarak, right? Because you're trying to pronounce everything, which is saying that you're not wrong. You're wrong, but you understand the idea of what you're looking at. You're looking at the God, Abba, and Ra. But if you understand this was saying warrior, you understand that this two was connected like that, right? You would say Gabar, right? Which means warrior, right? Of course, even with how we talked about earlier, that's how you make names and stuff. We're going to break that down because when we get the 12 tribes today, we're going to break down what their symbol is, what they represent, but we're also going to show you through previous classes what their name means, right? And when you see that, it's because it's going to be breaking down because right now we have Gabar Yala, right? Say a name like Gabar Yala, right? Let me erase this. I got to erase this somewhere. Oh, what's on Christ? All right. But now that Gabar Yala, right? Gabar yeah, Allah, right? Like that. Allah, right? The H at the end, right? No. Right? Now I'm gonna break that down too though. So Gabar Yala, so we know we got Gabar, warrior, we got Yah and Allah, right? What would be that? Allah's power, right? So it'll be Yah Allah, right? It'll be what? Warrior of God. Right? Power, right? Now, quick, let me make sure you got that right. Simple breakdown, right? This goes right here because we just broke down that earlier. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and break down the Syrian, right? So we have warrior, right? Warrior of God, right? Now, quick, let me make sure you got that right. Simple breakdown, right? This goes right here because we just broke down that earlier. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and break down the I said Allah. You have sometimes you have different things of Allah, right? So I have Allah like this. What is this? This is power, right? Mm-hmm. Like God, like Most High God, power, right? But you also have this. What do you think this would be? Yeah, it's the same thing, right? Allah, Allah, right? But what would this be? Allah. No, what would be? This is powers. This is Most High powers, right? Mm-hmm. What would this be? Yeah, well, she said regular power, but I know you try to say like lesser than, right? So this would be like an angel type power, right? Mm-hmm. Now, right, angel power. Now the reason why we, they would like to call this feminine, but okay. So when we say feminine and masculine, it's not really feminine and masculine. It's just a hierarchy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's why sometimes when we say akim, we say like ak and akwa, right? Wak is probably like the suffix of a feminine language, but you will see also on something else. I forgot what word we used beforehand, but it had the wak at the end, but it was talking about men. Malakwa. Thank you. The water, sis. This is the hand. She over here paying attention to the flag. This is the hand. All right. So, anyways, we know instead Malak, right? Malak was king, and Malak Wath was like the king rules over the king rules over the kingdom. But Malak Wath is not. You wouldn't say that's feminine. You know what I'm saying? All right. With that being said, let's get down to the lesson. Hopefully, we don't need a part 2, depending on how long I talk. Right? Like any class. So first we have we got Judah, right? Do you know what Judah, what his name is? In Hebrew? Yahweh. Yeah. Yahweh, right? Mm-hmm. Now, with that being said, what does that mean? You remember what it means? It just means Yahweh thinks. Yahweh thanks. Right. Now, what would this be? Its symbol is a lion, right? It's a lion. Why is it a lion? We gonna understand that majority of this class, right? We understand that majority of this class, right? We get these symbols from various things. Majority of it will be in Genesis chapter 49. Right? Let me see if I could pull it up for y'all. So lucky. Let me see if I share this lucky. So boom. Genesis chapter 49, verse 9. It reads, Judah is a lion's whelp from the prey. My son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He couched as a lion, as an old lion. Who shall rouse him up? We understand what Judah is represented by a lion. Judah was the chief tribe, or what you call the leader of the tribes, right? Especially for the southern kingdom before. Judah was supposed to be before they had split. That's why Christ came through what? Judah, right? Christ came from the kingdom of Judah, or the tribe of Judah, right? Now, also, you had the southern kingdom and northern kingdom split. The southern kingdom was what? Ruled by Judah. You also had the what? That's why they call it the kingdom of what? Judah, right? That's why sometimes Jews are always referred to as either Judah or the Jews or the 3 southern kingdom, right? Now, you understand you had the northern kingdom who was ruled by Ephraim, right? Now, with that being said, even when it talks about us as being the lions, what you see is anything that's going on in the world, who's the first people to like march and do things and always in the media and always like it's always about like because who we are is the reason why the reason why I gotta put this back on here. No, remind me to take it off when I put this write this word on there, what it is in Hebrew, right? The reason why who we are is the reason why a lot of Hispanic brothers don't think that our mission here in the ISBK is using them for a back burner. Because when we talk about the crimes in America, it's always about the black man, about the Negro, about this, about that. When you see us about the civil rights movement, nobody ever hear about the stories about how the Hispanics are getting done dirty. Nobody care about how the Hispanics are in the cages. So when we fight about things, it's always about what Judah is always about Judah in the media. Judah always doing this. He's always doing things right. Then you got us in the in the sports, the music industry, and all them different things. Judah you always see right now. What is lion? What would be the lion in Hebrew? You don't know lion in Hebrew? Well, before the Hebrew became a split, we had what? And it was a chief priest. What? Ariyah, right? So we have how would you spell it? All right. Who? Nah, his name means young lion. Is anything connected?
Aria.
No. Aria, right? That is lion. Yahweh thinks, right? Lion is Judah. That's the symbol for Judah, right? That's why you always see it now. You always see lion, Judah, whatever it is, right? Now next one. What would you think? What would be the next one? Huh? Yeah, remember how we ordered last time? Okay, so we have Judah. What's the next one? Benjamin, right? Benjamin, right? Remember what it is in Hebrew? Ban. Do you want to break it down for the class? Why? What his name means based on just what you're reading?
Well, it is of the right hand.
Mm-hmm.
Of the right hand or something.
Son?
Yeah, son.
And this is right?
Right.
Well, we say this, brothers in the Hebrew Academy, we say yum yum, sar. Right? We're going right. We're turning right, right? So you got what? Son of the right hand. And you're like, well, I don't see no hand in there. I don't see no yod in there. What you got to understand is even when we breaking down names, the names don't have to be literal. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to be literal. And sometimes you even will see, we would take prefixes from words and create it with something else. You know what I'm saying? Like if I have yod, I might just put the YA. I might do like, let me get a bigger word. If I had something in there like, for example, Allah, right? Or like, perfect example, this one right here. Perfect example, right? This is a perfect example. You have Yahweh, right? Now we understand that Yahweh, his whole name is not in there, but we use some of it. Even when we're doing like a lot of things with Allah or Yah. You know what I'm saying? Where Yah coming from? Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? It's the only today, man. Jog my memory up. All right. So now, who's this? What symbol represents this? The wolf. All right. Let's get a scripture. Let's get a scripture. Ooh. Now, Genesis chapter 49, verse 27. Benjamin shall raven as a wolf, and in the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil. So who is this? Who is Benjamin, first of all? The West Indies, right? Right? They're the West Indians. West Indies, right? So like the Jamaicans and stuff like that, right? Haitians will be Levi, right? Don't get those mistaken. I know sometimes people get them mistaken. But anyways, it's funny because, a lot of these things are like, based on for example, people who are unlearned in the scriptures or spirit or people who are, I don't even want to give them, I don't like calling people spiritual because it's like saying they're real spiritual and they're not. But it's like they too woke for their own good. You know what I mean? The third eye people. They're like, did you know that in the scriptures each tribe had a zodiac sign? This is why they call them zodiac signs, because what is a zodiac sign? A zodiac is something that tells you who you are. What?
It's saying each tribe had their own sigil.
Well, no, we talking about. It's not like we're talking about. It's saying it's describing Benjamin as this. So that's how you say their sigil became about, right? But they're describing this like this. That's why you can see why people saying, "Oh, well, this is zodiacs." You realize everything people worship comes from us. Like when we look at the sun and the moon and the stars, we did it for knowledge of knowing what's going to when's like what time it is. And people take that and do what with it? Go and worship with it. Even figures like worship the moon. Right? Now we have what? The Lord having personality traits in the Bible, and people running with that and calling them zodiac signs, saying they are this way because of that. You get what I'm saying? What is it like? Even right now, like because the Lord put, like, okay, for example, Jacob. We know, and this is the deep part. And it comes from the Bible because everything we do and know what happened is because we identify it through what the Lord put on it. Like for example, Esau was what? A cunning hunter. You look in the world today, who the hell is a cunning hunter? Who the hell gonna hunt for 24 hours straight, no food, no water, with deer piss on his head, looking like a tree, hiding up in there? And who sits down and hunt black people in the streets? We get that scripture too right now. We say, it's in the whole different class, but we know the scriptures say that, they hunt our steps, right? In our own streets. How the hell this man come in our own territory and hunt us? You know what I mean? And that's what it's about. And that's how we can identify who Esau is. It says Jacob was a tent dweller. So-called niggas we supposed to love our home. We love our home, laying at home, just watching TV. Do something simple, right? Simple people. Now, we got Benjamin. Now, with that being our traits, now we have these right here, talking about Judah as a lion. So now what people say today is, what is another thing of a lion today? A Leo. A Libra. I don't know which one it is. A Leo, right? Leo. They say, oh yeah, I'm a Leo. But you see how they worship things. We didn't worship this. You know what I'm saying? They like, oh yeah, I'm a Leo. I'm doing this. I'm that. You know what I'm saying? Also, it's something else. They do the colors off the breastplates too. The colors come off the breastplates. The birthstones come off our breastplates for different. Each tribe had their own different stone. These things are coming because of us. Everything that they do today derives from us. Them having some bastardized version of the Bible. Even so much with their zodiac signs, because we said Benjamin's a raven wolf. We even know like the characteristics of Benjamin. What are they? They're the West Indies. They work really, really, really hard. That's why in the morning they work up early. They do what they gotta do. They ain't to be messed with either, right? We understand that from that. Now, people gonna do what they gotta do. Let me write down this Hebrew word real quick. Right? Wolf is what? Huh? You know Za'ab, right? Za'ab. Za'ab. Right? What you have right here? Right? Za'ab. Za'ab. Right? Now, we got Levi. Who's Levi? Let me get a quick second. What do you think Levi is? Well, in Hebrew. Lawyer, right? Try to search something real quick. Salahi. All right. You know what it means?
Life?
Mm-hmm. This is like me or mine, right? It's joined to me. Now, with that being said, now Levi never had in Genesis chapter 49, never talked about Levi, right? Why? Let me make sure. Hold up. Go ahead.
You said they never talked about them?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I know they didn't have no inheritance.
What's inheritance?
Like they didn't have no land.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were the priests, so they were like always on the go.
Well, they do have Levi in here. I mean, so what we're gonna see. I'm talking about. So Genesis chapter 49 says Simeon and Levi are brothers. Simeon and Levi are brethren, instruments of cruelty on their habitations. Right now, let me pull it up. But what I'm trying to say is they don't have Levi. Okay, how much word it? Levi doesn't. Oh, we don't get Levi symbol for what it just said, right? And also, Levi, when you read the Genesis chapter 49, it talks about the 12 tribes, but it also has the tribe of Dan in there, right? So that means what? Is Dan here today? No. So what is really the 12 tribes of Israel? The 12 tribes of Israel are what? We have Judah, Benjamin, Levi. We have Judah. I'm gonna break it down like this: Judah, Benjamin. All right. Make sure I don't give it to you. Judah, Benjamin, Simeon, Zebulon, Gad, Reuben, Asher, Naphtali, and Yashakar. So how come I'm missing? And Joseph. Joseph. Those are the 12. Those are 12 sons of Jacob, not tribes. 12 sons of Jacob. What I just named. Right? Now is what?
What was you missing?
I'm missing, yeah.
Manasseh?
Manasseh? Mm-hmm.
And Dan?
This I'm breaking it down like this. These are the 12 sons. You have Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Gad, Reuben, Asher, Naphtali, Issachar, and Dan. And Joseph. Right? Those 12. But that's 12. Okay. So how come? But we did not name what we did not name. And what? And Ephraim. Because they come from what? Huh? No, because Joseph was what? Joseph would be a so-called Puerto Rican. Because that's where it come from, right? Ephraim come from him, right? So with that being said, you have Ephraim and Manasseh. So we had 12, right? We also had, so that means we take one away, we got Joseph, right? Now we have 11, but you add those two in there, so now we got 13. But Dan is not a tribe no more because of what they have enough sons. So now we back at what? 12. You know what I'm saying? You understand now?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I know you count 11 on your fingers, so I was messing up the count.
Yeah, I was messing up too. So like at first I said 12 tribes. I wanted to say 12 sons. Mm-hmm. All right. And let me see. And I think Manasseh, let me see. Manasseh was the oldest son, right?
Mhm. I think Manasseh had a Cuban.
Yeah, Manasseh is the Cubans. Yeah, Manasseh was the first son of Joseph,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And his wife, of course, right? But this is the problem. This is not the problem, but this is what we wanted to talk about.
Mhm.
They was when Jacob, so basically Joseph is not a 12, is not a tribe, but his two sons are. So Ephraim is not his oldest son, right? Manasseh is. So his friend, his brother, his dad was blessing him like this. Like I'm like, hey, this one's gonna be greater than Joseph. Well, he put his hands on him and was giving the inheritance to who? Ephraim. And he was like, well, shoot, Ephraim is supposed to be. Ephraim is not the first son. Manasseh is. You messing up, Dad. You got to do right here. He's like, no, son. Ephraim is gonna pass him. And now what we see, well, who's the Ephraim today? So-called Puerto Ricans. When you think about Puerto Ricans and Cubans, not to say division between the people, but you think of Puerto Ricans being more out there, more, and they was in charge of the Northern Kingdom as well, right? That makes sense? Yeah. It's just like, because you understand what he's blessing them is off of what he knows is going to be in the last days, right? All right. Where we at? Okay, so basically, that's also I want to look at right here. So what do you say their symbol is? When we look at today in class, when we go to class, we see all signs up there. What is it that you see? Dice, right? Now let me look this up real quick. It's lucky, y'all. All right. Let me try this real quick. So, okay, let me just write dice real quick down here for y'all. The reason why we do dice, because the Urim and Thummim, right? You know what the Urim and Thummim is? The Urim and Thummim is the dice. We play dice and cast lots. The same thing we do today, cast lots. That's what it was. Now they had this in their breastplate to what? To help with decision makers, the Levites. This because this what represented them. This is what we used to represent them. All right. So let me get this real quick. All right. So dice is good ball. Right? Good ball. Huh? Lot? No, we cast lots. Right, dice is good ball. How we write that? All right, so that is the Southern Kingdom and their signs. All right, we might do a little bit of the Southern Kingdom. Let me see how we at. Okay, that's perfect. Got 30 minutes. Good to go. Now I gotta go a little bit faster. Write that down real quick. All right. All right, next one we have is Simeon, right? right? Which is the Dominicans. What would their name be? You know how to break this down?
Shema means be quiet. And then you put one in.
Shema does not mean be quiet. Shaquat means be quiet.
Well, to hear.
To hear.
It's close.
Here. What is the wand? What is the wand? What does the wand do?
The wand is for the noun.
Yeah, it makes it a noun, right? Equals noun, because what's a noun? Person, place, or thing, which makes it equals a name. Makes it a name. Yeah, so that means here, it means affliction heard, that's what the name means. Affliction heard. Because you know sometimes affliction sometimes is affliction heard, Shalaki. So when you get affliction heard, usually some people name their children based on things that they dealt with. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, a lot of times people going through women being barren, they would name their child a certain thing, or based on prophecy, you have a child being such a thing, or angels visiting your child. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened. Now with that, we're gonna go into what is this sign? This sign is let's get up on the thing, right? This I'm gonna get to y'all right now. This sign is axe. That's an axe, right? And we're gonna see why it's an axe. I think I just gave it to y'all earlier. Right? You understand these type? Let me see. Salakia. I think it's up top. Right. All right. Genesis 49:5. Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. So, you know, axe, what does the axe symbolize? Yeah, like killing, right? Cordon. I got it. Cordon. So like, I'm just trying to make it readable. I don't know. Sometimes the feedback on the thing be not that good. Cordon. All right. Acts. Right. Yeah. I'm gonna read some more of these scriptures. I'm gonna go into and read them. I'm going to see, right? Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. O my soul, come not thou into their secret, into their assembly mine honor, be not thou united. For in their anger they slew a man. In their self-will they dig down a wall. So what you gotta understand about when these things that we have, sometimes the Lord gives things to people. The blessings we have could sometimes be our downfall. You know what I'm saying? When you don't use things correctly, anything could be your downfall, right? Mm-hmm. So Simeon is a Dominican. Shammai Wan, why? Affliction is heard. Why? Because Shammai is here. Wan, you add Wan to any things, you get a name, A person makes things a noun, right? So lucky, y'all. So do you know? That's what I wanted to bring out, right? I'm not gonna be too long. I wanted to get this right here in the scriptures, but I didn't want to. So what is this talking about? So it said, in their anger they slew a man, or how it talks about how Levi and Simeon are. Let me read it. I want to. Let me read it. Let me go back. Simeon and Levi are brethren, instruments of cruelty on their habitations. Why is it saying that? You ever heard a story about Simeon and Levi? Okay, let me see what I want to start. This is Genesis, the 34th chapter. All right, so basically, they defiled their sister, right? Right, one of Jacob's daughters, right? So what happened was what they did was Simeon and Levi, they wanted to go and kill they wanted to go kill everybody up in that town. You remember that? I'm paraphrasing. I'm trying to get I don't want to say use all these scriptures, right? All right. All right, so this is what I want right here. All right, this is right here. Verse 10. It says, and Shechem said unto her father and to her brethren, let me find grace in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me I will give. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me. But give me the damsel to wife. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor his father deceitfully, and said, because he had defiled Dinah their sister. So they answered what? Deceitfully, because they defiled their sister. So what it means to answer deceitfully means to say something you really don't keep. So we're gonna see what they said, right? And they said unto them, we cannot do this thing to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us, right? But in this will we consider unto you, if you would be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised. So I'm saying what? That if you go get circumcised, then we'll give our daughter to you, a sister to you, right? So why? But how you even know this is deceitful? Because if these people, if you're not, in Israel, right, Israelite, you don't need it benefits you for being circumcised. So these people say, well, you go get circumcised, and you can marry my sister, right? Then when we give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we'll become one people. So even with that is what? Telling you like it's deceitfully. Yeah, you can go do that, we could do that. We'd be cool with you, bro. And that's how you going there, you going up there to the, you going down to, whatever you had to work first, and you talking to these heathens a certain way, bro, we'd be bros, bro. You go do the X, Y, and Z, bro, we'd be good. Like he's saying, then when we give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters to us, we will deal with you, and we will become one people. Like even know that in Deuteronomy 7:3, it talks about what? That don't marry their daughters. Don't give your sons into their daughters. Don't let your daughters go into their sons, right? But it will not hearken unto us to be circumcised. Then will we take our daughter and we'll be gone, right? And their words pleased Hamor, and Shechem's Hamor's son. The young man deferred not to do the thing because he had delight in Jacob's daughter, and he was more honorable than all the house of his father. And Hamor and his Shechem, his son, came unto the gate of their city and communed with the men of their city, saying, these men are peaceable with us. Therefore let them dwell in the land and trade therein. For the land, behold, it is large enough for them to take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give our daughters to them. Now, I'm going to go down. Okay. Verse 25. So remember, they said they made this pact with them. You go get circumcised, and we'll be one people, right? And it shall come to pass on the third day, when there was sword, that two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword and came upon the city boldly and slew all the males. And they slew Hammer and Shechem's his sons with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house and went out. Right? The sons of Jacob came upon the slain and spoiled the city because they had defiled their sister. That's pretty much the story. I didn't want to get too much in there. There's a couple things. But also what you see is what? They known as the axe. Covered down. That's their symbol. Or what you say, like a signet thing. You know what I mean? Kind of like Game of Thrones. That's what you want to think about, like Game of Thrones. Like when people put their banners up, they have certain symbols that represent them. All right? Let's get back. All right. Now we have Zabalawan, right? Huh? I'll give you the answer. Yeah. Well, I said it in Hebrew? Oh. I'm just a Hebrew. That's the answer, but it's Zebulon. How you spell Zebulon? Anyways, yeah. Zabalawan, this sound better. Everything in Hebrew just sound better. That's why Shemaiwan and Simeon. No, it's Shemaiwan. It just sound better. You know what I'm saying? It like that. Oh, let me put this Salagi. I gotta put this back on the board. I can't even see. All right. With that, right? Zabalawan, which is dwell with me, right? I said it's dwell with me. That's his name. Dwell with me, right? Mm-hmm. Now, what represents Zebulon? Zebulon is represented by a ship on a yacht, right? Mm-hmm. On a yacht, right? Ship on a yacht, right? On the yacht is ship. We're gonna see why. Because remember, this is based off of what? Most of it is based on the Genesis, the 49th chapter, right? Let's see what it says by Zabalawan. This thing could come on. Something's going on. Oh, there you go. Okay. All right, Genesis 49:13. Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for an haven of ships, and his border shall be unto Zidon. So what does that mean? His border shall be unto thee, like Zidon. Let me see. So, let me see. All right. So this is Guatemala. Actually. Guatemala. I wish I had a map. That's what I really was trying to look for. It's like I spell it wrong. Guatemala to Panama, right? Mm-hmm. Guatemala to Panama. So what is Zidon? It was like a harbor, great ship harbor, right? That's what it's saying in the scripture, right? Like a great Zidon. I don't know how to find the Bible dictionary. It's like a great ship haven. Yeah, like a port, right? Mm-hmm. So with that being said, what is this, right? Being that Zebulon is Guatemala and Panama, what they have that's great there? You don't know? Why is it talking about ships? Ships and water. What canal's down there?
Oh, Panama Canal?
Panama Canal. That's a good job. Try to find Zion real quick. I don't know if they're going to might have it. So much stuff. All right. All right. So it's a ship because why you have the Panama Canal, right? Right? In Guatemala and Panama, that whole area is Zabalawan, right? And that's why I use the ship, which is Anaya, right? The reason why that's why you said Anaya because you read it like if it was English, right? You want to keep the same sounds when you're doing these things. I keep forgetting this. Like I could keep forgetting to put this back up. All right. So you have Anaya, right? Anaya is ship. The reason why it's represented with a ship is because of what we just read in the Genesis, the 49th chapter, what they would be in the last days, or even so much that showed where they would be. It didn't even give us so much of their personality, but it showed where would they be, right? And what is it? Boom, Panama Canal, right? You look that up, it was like a great ship haven, just like Zidon was. That's why in the Genesis chapter, the 49th chapter, it talks about that as well. All right, so we're gonna go to the next one, all right, which is Ephraim. Ephraim. Yeah. In Hebrew is what?
Orion.
Huh?
Orion.
Huh? All right. Which is what? Aporion, which means fruitful. He was right. Because? Huh? Because they don't bear what fruit? They are fruitful. All right? They are fruitful. Let's go into what we've been doing this whole time. Let's read about them. All right, so right here we have Joseph. This is known as Joseph, right? Mm-hmm. So we know Joseph will be so-called Puerto Rican, right? It says Joseph is a fruitful bough, right? Bow, right? Like branches, right? Mm-hmm. Even a fruitful bough by a well whose branches run over the wall. What is that talking about? What is fruitful? Right. Because what? They have a lot of children. They're fruitful. That's like what you understand something is that that's a blessing. That is a blessing from the Lord. Let me see. All right. So basically, they fruitful, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they have a lot of children. You know, Puerto Ricans have a lot of children. It's like also like Mexicans too, but Puerto Ricans, you know, most of the Northern Kingdom, they be having a lot of children. That's a blessing they have. Now, when they said the branches roll over, those branches run over the wall. Remember, we saying these when he's giving these things to his sons at the last days, where they would be at the last days. So what you have is The reason why I'm saying the branches run over the wall is because they did a lot of mixing. Ephraim was known as a silly dove, meaning what? They love other nations who hated them. Well, that made them go and mingle with other people, mingle with the white people, conquistadors and stuff like that. Which is why you got with them is like you could find like different shades, shades of them, all type of different shades. You know what I'm saying? And they're I don't want to get it mistaken, like you find different shades of like any tribe, like with black people, but majority of them is like it's like a how is it? With us, it's like you either actually make it. I'm gonna make it like that. It's like with us, you have really light skins, right? But from majority of us, we know they light skin because they father or their mother would be. Well, we're gonna say mother because right, a mother would be white, right? Now with that, the whole tribe of Ephraim, majority of the times is a whole scale. Like it's from light, and they both Puerto Ricans, and to dark, and those two people are both Puerto Ricans. Ain't no mother, a father white and one's Puerto Rican. You know what I'm saying? They both Puerto Ricans, and they either gonna be dark or they're gonna be light. And both parents are Puerto Ricans. The majority for us, your skin color based on one of your parents being a heathen. You know what I'm saying? So that's really breakdown of that. It goes deep. Like I said, I'm not trying to get too deep. That'd be a whole nother history class we break that down, break that down in history class. I'm just giving a summary about it. But Operium, right? So what represents Operium? What would you say? Right?
Is it a grape?
Hmm?
Is it a grape?
No.
Is that
Operium, right?
No. Oh, never mind. That's Yashikar. I don't know.
Yeah, when you see it's represented by a unicorn. Mm-hmm. And it's yep. I think it's right. Let me double check Salagi. Ra'am, right? Let me. All right, Salagi. I was looking at something. All right. So, like I said, we always, when you want to, look things up, you got different apps you can use, like a 2-letter lookup or stuff like that, right? Let's get Ra'am, right? Right, right. No, that's for the Ra'am. We have the unicorn. I'm gonna kind of rush through these Ra'am, right? They fruitful. That's what we see when you see all signs with them. You always see the unicorn. Probably never even realize it, right? And don't get this one mistaken for a horse. You probably like, man, he probably mean horse, right? No, because we're gonna get that on there as well. Because I don't know if I want to skip it. Yeah, it's all into a horse. Actually, you know what? We're gonna run through these. I actually don't want to run through these because we got to get the breakdown of them when we read it in Genesis, the 49th chapter, right? Mm-hmm. So, I feel like we just did. Listen.
We didn't do Manasseh.
We talked about it, right? Manasseh, right? Now we're finna get it in the. Let's see. Am I tripping? Okay. I am tripping. So we just read this.
We read it
Yeah, you know why?
because he was working with the hand up there too.
So where did he come from? That's why I was saying I thought we did it already. Because where does let me see if they got it on the board. Let me
I
say.
know he's the oldest son of Joseph, and he's the king. He was working.
So he's with Joseph, right?
Yeah.
We just read about Joseph.
Yeah, he's working his hand up too.
So these are the same goes with Joseph too, right? But this is a different type of let me see. So these are Cubans, right? What represents them is the bull. If I'm not mistaken, I'll double check. Yeah, the bull. Right? Shawar, right? Shawar, which is the bull. The reason we just read it in Genesis 49th chapter, because it said it's talking about Joseph. These are the two sons of Joseph. Manasseh was the oldest one. Ephraim was the youngest one, but Jacob, which is Joseph's father, gave the blessing to Ephraim, the bigger blessing to Ephraim, because knowing who would be in the last days, of how he would be, even though even before, right now, you had, like I said, the northern kingdom, they had, Ephraim was the ruler of that kingdom, right? The nation, right? So, like the bull, that's why I was getting, I was like, man, what is that? Anyways, I also want to, we're going to do this one last time. Huh? Yeah, that's all. Okay. Cubans. You don't know their name? What do you think their name is? It's made to forget.
Forget?
Yeah. Remember we broke it down last time. We can get it. Remember the chapter it was in? It's in Genesis. You know it's in Genesis, right?
Yeah, just everything seems very much under.
No, not the, him blessing the sons of the last days. It was in the 49th chapter. Right? But when these kids came out, they named them. Remember we talked about the other class?
I don't remember that.
And Joseph called the name, this is Genesis chapter 41, verse 51. And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for God said he had made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. So what? He's made to forget the bad things. Remember we broke it down. You look at it like, what the hell made to forget? You made to forget? No, made to forget the bad things. Meaning what? Like I said, names don't have to be so literal. Like he could have put, made to forget, but it wouldn't be a nice name. You know what I'm saying? So different things like that. This is our culture and how we come up with names and different things, and how we name people, how we name sons and stuff. Because it's like you could name somebody right now. Like it's two different ways. You can name things based on somebody who you want. Like in our culture, you can name people, name your sons or whoever based on what you want them to become. How they dealt with you in the womb, the personality in the womb, or even like what they mean to you. And what you're realizing is that most of these times we're reading is like what they meant to them. You know what I'm saying? We at? I think how much more we gotta go? I think that's halfway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next class. And yeah, we're gonna stop right there because I want to get more in the breakdown. I don't want to just skip over the and I want to add more, go into depth. We're probably gonna cover more of this. I want to cover more of that because I know we just went to Genesis 49 chapter, but I also want to cover in the scriptures of why we chose these signs to represent these nations, why they are, right? Because all Genesis 49 chapter don't give all the accounts for all these, like Manasseh and Manasseh and Ephraim, right? Or Ephraim and Manasseh, right? So we're gonna get that, but we know Shawar, which is bull, and the unicorns, which is Ra'am, and you know what I'm saying, we're gonna get that. Probably I want to get on the screen, with the pictures, what we use. I don't know if everybody's seen the pictures we use to actually give you a better understanding. But we're gonna stop on that note, but we can go more in depth the next class, right? You got any questions? What's Judah? All right. All right, with that, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shabbat Thumb, Yahweh Shema Thumb Ba'Shem outside.